everybody, welcome to Dakman Productions and welcome to Conroe. On this edition of Conroe, well, we got an unboxing of Atlas O Premier hopper cars. This is fresh off the press, just released. We're going to open up the box and take a look at them. Sometimes I do an unboxing and sometimes I don't, but when I do an unboxing, I try to tell a story or have a discussion so we're not all bored watching me just open the box and I'm not saying anything. So, moving forward, my U.S. Army knife, I like using this on my unboxings, but for those who don't know, who are brand new into O-gauge, Atlas has been making O-gauge since 1972. They started off in 1972 by making 2-rail O-scale in Austria, and they were in white boxes. And eventually, as time went on, Atlas introduced 3-rail products, and of course the boxes changed and they went to blue. And when people, when you say Atlas, people were thinking HO and N scale. So there's 4 different product lines to Atlas O. You have the Master Series, which is your top of the line, has full details. I mean, in my opinion, the Atlas O Master Series is the best of the best in O-gauge when it comes to rolling stock. That's just my opinion. You have a ton of details, applied grab irons, you have the rotating wheel bearing caps for the modern stuff. It's a wonderful product, and I just love it. The downside to the Atlas O Master Series is that it's very, very fragile. So it's one of them things where you put it on your layout and you leave it. It's not something you want to take on and off the shelf or let the kids play with it. So, next in that series is the Trainz series. So that's right under the Master Series. The Trainz series is not as many details, so it's not as fragile. Most of the stuff still has rotating wheel bearing caps. Again, a great product. And then underneath of that, you have the Atlas O Premiere series, the Trainz that Atlas bought from MTH, the Premiere series. And the funny part about that is, oh god, I hate peanuts. But it saves everything. So, the funny thing is about the Premiere series is that even though Atlas owns the molds, it's still made in the MTH factory. It's still made there. And that was, I believe that was part of the deal. And all 3 of those, the Master, the Trainz, and the Premiere series are all scale sized. True scale, 1/48 scale. O-gauge Trainz. Now Atlas O does have, they buy a product called the Industrial Rail, which was O27. So I ran into, before I show these, I'll tell you a short story. So I ran into a guy by the name of Carmine, and he has a, I guess, I don't know if it's a website or online store called Hobo Junction. He's always at the train shows, Greenberg. He always makes the Edison show. I believe he's in Oaks. Every time I go to a show, I see him. Great guy. And I found out he was the largest industrial rail dealer in the United States before Atlas O bought it. And I was blown away. And he was telling me some of the stories and the background behind industrial rail, how they got started, how they were a really affordable O27 product line that was also really rugged and reliable. So, and that's what their success was. And they did a lot of custom runs. And so it would be a great interview to do with Carmine if he would do one talking about industrial rail. Carmine has a ton of new old stock industrial rail before Atlas O, the Atlas O buyout. But he has the original he's got a ton of the original industrial rail. So if you're an industrial rail fan, check out Carmine. I'm going to put his card into the video so you can see it right here. Give him a call. You can actually check him out at shows. He's always bringing the industrial rail product line to his booth. It's down at the bottom, underneath of the shirts and other stuff that he sells. But he's still got a ton of industrial rail stuff left over, new old stock, and a lot of it is even custom runs. But anyway, so what do we got today now that we talked about all that? So we have the MTH Premiere Conrail 2-bay hopper cars. And these are former MTH molds that MTH had bought from MTH. And so we'll get these out on the track. But before we do, I want to show you one other thing. Now, when MTH had the molds, they did make the Conrail 2-bay hopper as well, but it was in brown. Now, I was hoping that they would do one in gray eventually, but it didn't happen, and they sold their molds to MTH, and MTH made it in gray, so that's still cool. So I do have both road numbers of the brown now, and both road numbers of the gray. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. So we'll take both of them out and we'll check them out and compare them with each other just to see if anything's changed. And so far, every time I've bought the MTH Premiere, it's the same exact thing as the MTH Premiere. Nothing has really changed. They still use the MTH trucks, the MTH, everything was still built the same way. But we'll go ahead and take a look at it, see if anything's changed this run. And also, we'll make this like a 2-for-1 deal. I was given this MTH Premiere red Conroe Caboose. And Kevin Quinn was telling me this was for real. Conroe really did have, or does have, a red Caboose. And we'll talk about that too as well. I've been meaning to do a video on that, but we'll stick it into this video as well. So let's get all this out on the track and we'll talk about everything. So I had a chance to look at both cars. And yes, nothing really stands out that's changed except for the roof hatches. Now I don't know if MTH offered 2 different roof hatches on this 2-bay covered hopper before or not. But I'll show you what I mean. So if you look on the roof, the MTH one has these round hatches on the roof. And the MTH Premiere has the single, well, not the single, but it has 3 separate oblong hatches on it instead of individual roof hatches. So other than that, it's basically same cars, same trucks, same details, same everything. And I'll show you that here in a minute. Alright, so if you look at them side by side, like I said, the details are exactly the same. Even when it comes down to the trucks, it's the same trucks. The only difference is you'll see it says MTH in the corner. And it looks like they put there you go. Looks like they put a patch over where the MTH would be stamped normally. So, at first I thought maybe it was a sticker. I tried peeling that up, but it is not. It seems like it's right into the die cast. Okay, right there you'll see it says MTH molded in there. And the other one says MTH Electric Trainz. I was hoping that MTH would at least update the trucks. That's been my only gripe with the MTH stuff. I like the realistic rotating wheel bearing caps. Some people would say it would drive the price up, but that's just something I wish that they would do like MTH has done in the past with the Master Series. Alright, so we'll focus on the MTH piece here first. and we'll talk about these. Okay, so we'll answer the most common question. What are the 2-bay covered hoppers used for? Well, typically they're used to ship dry bulk commodities like corn, wheat, barley, fertilizer, soda ash, cement, sand, roofing granules, rice, and sugar, to name a few. So, they were used for a wide range of commodities. Next question is, are these prototypical? Are they correct? Yes, Conroe really did have a 2-bay covered hopper in brown and a 2-bay covered hopper in gray. I would also like to point one other thing out. Conroe freight cars always had a classification model number. So take a look at this Atlas O version, and if you look right here in the corner, I'll see if I can focus in on it here. There we go. You'll see it says CE12B. That's an actual real Conroe model designation for that car. The car next to it, which is the MTH Premiere version, is also a classification model number CE12B. Some people like to hear a price point. So I paid $72 a piece for each one from Mr. Muffins. I had them on pre-order with him. So if you're a Conroe person like me, you can find yourself the old run of the MTH Premiere 2-bay hopper in brown, and then get the new Atlas O Premiere in the gray. There's 2 more road numbers, and you got a 4-car set. So cool. So glad to have this. Alright, so let's put the caboose out, and we'll talk about that next. Okay, so we have the MTH Premiere Conroe Bay Window Caboose in red on the track. And Kevin Quinn of the TCA had already verified that, yes, this is real. Conroe really did have this and is now used by Norfolk Southern and is stationed in Dover, New Jersey at the New Jersey Transit Yard, where Norfolk Southern uses this for the crew. I also found out Kevin Quinn is a rail master or train master of the Hoboken Rail Yard, and nothing moves in and out of that Hoboken Rail Yard without Kevin saying it's okay. So that was cool to know that he actually has a job related to trains as well. And thanks again, Kevin, for verifying this and telling me the story behind this and where it's at. And you'll see, even though it says Conroe on it, right underneath of the window, it does have Norfolk Southern on there. Such a cool piece. Another survivor, basically, of the Conroe days. Still with the Conroe logo on it. Kind of unique how it's red instead of blue. And it's a cool piece. Speaking of surviving cabooses, I want to show you one more caboose with an interesting story that I also own. So here we have a Conroe Quality caboose. This is a Lionel Conrail Caboose. One of the first runs that they did. Currently, I'm not too happy because the Wi-Fi app for the camera is no longer supported by Android and is now only available on an iPad or iPhone. And I am not an Apple person at all. I'm an Android fan, so. But that's a discussion for another day. So what's interesting about this caboose is that it was the only caboose ever that Conroe painted in the Quality Road scheme there. So you'll notice the Quality logo here and here. Caboose number 22137 was the only one that ever had the quality logos applied to it. Now this caboose actually survived and resides up in North Jersey in the Conroe Shared Assets yard. And they use it for a shoving platform. Now, it was graffitied up. It was looking pretty rough. And so the management did have the crew give it a makeover. When they did, they originally covered up the quality logos with can opener logos. The management decided that it didn't look right, and they just wanted the quality logos painted over in blue altogether. So I'm kind of sad, history-wise, that it didn't get the quality logos back on it again. But at least 22137 still survives today. So I am happy for that. Now, before I get any comments or nasty remarks, these photos are not mine. So no, I did not trespass to get pictures of these cabooses or this caboose. That's not something I do, nor is it something do I recommend doing. The photos were actually sent to me by a Conroe Shared Assets engineer, who I will not name. Alright, so, at any rate, I just wanted to get that disclaimer out there. And, at any rate, so, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you guys trackside. Goodbye.